Hello guys, welcome back again to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through what I find to be the easiest way to update your laptop, desktop or motherboard BIOS. BIOS updating becomes very crucial at some point when your computer manufacturer wishes to fix some computer bugs as well as increase CPU compatibility. This means that after you upgrade your CPU, RAM, SSD, hard drives and other internal hardwares and your BIOS cannot recognize them properly in the BIOS settings, then the BIOS flash might solve this problem. These are the basic reasons for updating BIOS, but there are other reasons as well which can be demonstrated in 3 or more folds. 1. When the computer BIOS is corrupted. 2. To remove or unlock BIOS passwords. 3. To change your computer manufacturer's splash screen with any other image of your choice. When your computer BIOS is corrupted, it comes with a lot of symptoms. These symptoms are the most common with BIOS corruption. I will go into details about how to fix computer problems with these symptoms in many upcoming videos, but in today's video, I will focus more on the general computer BIOS update and all that you need to know about it. There are many ways to update your computer BIOS, but I will demonstrate according to the computer's manufacturer's recommendations. Let's start with the Windows-based BIOS update. This is the easiest and simplest way to update your computer BIOS. I have this HP 280 G1 desktop and I'm going to take you through a step-by-step guide to update the system BIOS. All that we need is an internet connection to download the BIOS file. Now, on your Windows desktop, press Windows key and type system information and press enter or click on it. Now you can see the computer system information. All that we need is your computer system model, BIOS mode and SMD BIOS version. After, Google your computer model drivers. Click on the link to your computer manufacturer's website. Mine is HP, so I'll click on this. Please note that this process will slightly be different from other manufacturers, but if you understand the procedure, it's almost the same for the others. Now select your operating system and its version and click submit. Select the BIOS and download the latest version. Now, let's look at what the latest BIOS file will fix. As you can see, the BIOS file has been upgraded to provide security updates. Now, let's download the BIOS file. After, double-click on it to run the application. Accept the license agreement and click next to unzip the file. From here, the BIOS update utility window pops up. Select update and click next. Use the recommended settings and click next again. Please follow the instructions accordingly as indicated here and click next to start the BIOS flash update. But before you begin any BIOS flash update, ensure your laptop battery power level is not below 50% and that the battery is also in a good condition. This is because should any power outage interrupt the BIOS flashing process, your computer may go dead or experience booting problems. After, restart your computer to conclude the BIOS flashing process. Now, let's update BIOS within the BIOS interface. This is ASUS TUF Gaming Series X570 Plus, and I'll take you through a step-by-step guide to update the motherboard BIOS. All that you need is a USB flash drive of at least 1 GB and an internet connection. After getting that, our next step is to Google with the computer's model number and press enter. After, select the right manufacturer's website with the model number. This is ASUS Motherboard, so I'll click on this. Click on support. Click on driver and utility. Now choose the BIOS and firmware. Click show all to display all versions of the BIOS to its latest version. Now let's look at the fixes. The latest version improves system compatibility, whilst the previous version fixes two problems. One, AM4 AGISHA, which is the BIOS settings interface, and it also solves random stuttering. Please note that it's highly recommended to download the latest version of any BIOS file because it carries all the previous version fixes to its latest version fixes. So I will download the latest version instead. After download is completed, open the file location, which by default is downloads. Now, copy the file and paste it anywhere of your choice and extract the file with WinRAR. I will leave the link to download in the description below. Now, insert your USB flash drive and format it with FAT file. After, send the extracted folder to your USB flash drive. After this step, your USB flash drive should be ready to be used to update the BIOS. Now, restart your PC. Press your manufacturer's BIOS key to enter the BIOS settings. For this particular model, it's either F2 or delete. In the BIOS setup, click the advanced mode. Click on Tool, then select ASUS E2 Flash 3. Select your flash drive and click Next. Select your USB flash drive and click on the particular folder containing the BIOS file. Click on Yes to begin the flashing process. Please note very carefully, during this flashing process, do not turn your computer off or touch or click anything that may interfere the flashing process, because any interference can break your computer from starting or render it dead. After, click OK, then you are done. Let's flash another BIOS through DOS. This is usually done for Dell computers. This is Dell Latitude E6420, and I'm going to take you through a step-by-step guide to update the BIOS through DOS or command level flashing. All that you need is a USB flash drive and an internet connection to download the BIOS file. First of all, let's go with the model number and download the BIOS file. Go to Drivers and Downloads. After, select any operating system and download the BIOS file. After, go to Google and search for Rufus. Download the application and run it. At this point, insert your USB flash drive. change the boot selection to 3 doors. Leave everything the way it is and just click start. After the process is completed, go to a USB flash drive and create a folder and rename it to anything you want. I will rename it to Dell. After, make a subfolder and rename it to anything you can remember. I will use the laptop model number E6420. After, copy the BIOS file you downloaded and paste it in the subfolder. Now, boot your Dell computer with the USB flash drive you created. Tap on F12 for the manufacturer's boot menu. Now, select your USB flash drive and press enter. Now, I will enter the following commands based on the folders I created earlier on the USB flash drive. CD space Dell, CD space E6420, DIR. Press tab button on the keyboard to choose the BIOS file. Then enter to begin the flashing process. This will take some time, so please be patient and don't turn off the computer or press anything to interfere the process. Just wait patiently for the process to finish. After this message, you are done. Congratulations. Now let's proceed to flashing BIOS using keyboard combinations. This is usually for HP laptops. This is HP Envy M6 1105DX. It has a failed or corrupted BIOS. As you can see, the cap lock key blinks 2 times and the screen remains blank. You can also see the Wi-Fi key on with a steady amber light. I will take you through a step-by-step guide on how to recover this and any other HP notebook with BIOS corruption using some keyboard key combinations. Some of the HP notebooks have an inbuilt function for recovering the BIOS without any USB flash drive. We are going to demonstrate that by holding Windows key and B button together before we press the power button. This is the most common combination for HP laptops. If that doesn't work, then we try Windows key and V button together before pressing power button. If that also fails, then we only hold B button, then we press the power button. So now let's begin. Let's start with Windows key and V button, then we press the power button. As you can see, the cap lock key is still flashing 2 times. Let's try Windows key and B. As you can see, that also didn't work. Finally, let's try only the B button and then press power button. That also failed. This means that this HP laptop do not have an inbuilt function to recover the BIOS. So what we are going to do is to download the BIOS on the USB flash drive to recover this laptop. All that you need is a USB flash drive and an internet connection to download the BIOS file. First of all, Google with the model number and download the BIOS file. After the download is completed, run the application and insert your USB flash drive. Here, review and accept the license agreement and click Next. Choose a USB flash drive and click Next to proceed. Wait for the creating process to finish. Click on Next, then Exit. Now, let's start with the BIOS recovery process. First, plug in your AC adapter or charger. Insert the USB flash drive that you created. Hold Windows key and B button together, then press and hold the power button for 2 to 3 seconds. Then release the power button. Keep holding the Windows key and B button until the HP BIOS update screen appears. Now, wait patiently for the BIOS update process to finish. After this, you are done. Please note, if the Windows key and B button didn't work for your laptop, then you try Windows key and V or just the B button before pressing the power button. Flashing or updating your BIOS with an external BIOS programmer. If your computer motherboard stopped working due to a failed BIOS update, then your last resort to recover your computer is to use an external BIOS programmer to flash your BIOS chip. This is how the BIOS chip looks like. It's either you reflash this chip or reflash this supercontroller with one of the special BIOS programmers. There are many external BIOS programmers available in the market, but in this video, I will mention some of the best known ones. RT809F, RT809H, TL866 series, CH341A, EZP series programmers, SVOD programmers, Enit IO programmer, Vetanoic IO programmer. These BIOS programmers are not only capable of flashing the BIOS chip, but also unlocks any BIOS passwords. You can buy them in your local computer store or order them through online shops like eBay, Amazon, AliExpress, and many others. I will make a detailed tutorial on how to use external BIOS programmers in an upcoming video. Please also note that external BIOS programmers can be used to flash firmwares of television, home theaters, set-top boxes, and many other devices which use the firmware chip. Now, let me demonstrate how external BIOS programmer can be used to flash the BIOS chip. To accomplish this, you need to know how to properly use the soldering iron or an MSendy rework station to remove the BIOS chip from the motherboard. This is a laptop motherboard. I will remove the BIOS chip and flash it with an external BIOS programmer. First of all, let's remove the BIOS chip using hot air gun or soldering iron. Carefully insert the BIOS chip into the adapter socket. Plug the adapter socket into the BIOS programmer. Now connect the BIOS programmer to the computer. After, run the BIOS programmer software. I am using RT809F BIOS programmer. Click on Smart Identity to detect the chip. Now click on Read to acknowledge the original BIOS file on the chip. Save the file on your computer to guide you in case you download the wrong file. Now click Erase to wipe the chip. Now let's check if the chip is really empty. Yes, it is. Now open your new BIOS file and write it on the chip. After this confirmation message, disconnect the programmer and remove the chip. Reflow or resolder the chip back onto the motherboard. The chip is finally installed on the motherboard. Finally, you are done. That's all for this tutorial. If you find value for this tutorial, please give a thumbs up and also share to anyone you think might need it. Leave a comment if you have any problems or questions, and don't forget to subscribe and press the notification bell icon for more videos like this. Thank you for watching and have a great evening.